Subject of jurisdiction thereof. A legal history of birthright citizenship. Hi, my name is Isabella Mashour, and I'm a senior at J. Sarah Catholic High School in California, and I research the development of birthright citizenship in the United States with my mentor, Christian. So, my research topic, the development of birthright citizenship in the United States. And my research question was that I answered in my research paper was how has the concept of birthright citizenship evolved in the United States history, and what are the key arguments in contemporary debates surrounding its future? I chose this topic because it is a very hot topic in the United States today. There's a lot of debate surrounding how it should be interpreted. And then also, last year I took a push. So while learning that through class, I got really interested to learn more and like its development beyond just the 14th Amendment. So, what is birthright citizenship? Birthright citizenship came from the 14th Amendment in 1868, and it is automatic citizenship granted to anyone born in the United States, regardless of the parent's citizenship. So, this guaranteed all persons born in the United States to get citizenship and get all of those benefits. And the 14th Amendment states, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state. So in my research paper, I looked through the development just beyond the 14th Amendment and prior. So I started my research paper off with the Naturalization Act of 1790, which a lot of people aren't familiar on how this event relates to birthright citizenship today. And so the Naturalization Act of 1790 was passed by the first Congress and signed into law by President George Washington, and it was the first federal law that addressed the qualifications to obtain American citizenship. So this act aimed to establish a uniform process of naturalization for immigrants to become citizens. However, the criteria limited U.S. citizenship to only free white persons. So basically embedding racial exclusion throughout the citizenship and only letting it be allowed granted for white people only. So that is our first basis of citizenship already um, excluding multiple races of people and limiting it. So the methods I used to conduct my research was qualitative research through close readings of historical texts, legal cases, and policy debates. I analyzed primary sources like the 14th Amendment, congressional debates, and court opinions. I looked at Trump's executive order, Wong Kim Ark case, and the Dred v. Scott case. And yeah, I reviewed scholarly articles, secondary sources, different websites stating their opinions on what is going on today, how different things were interpreted, because obviously the primary sources are hard to interpret exactly their meaning. So I use other resources. I use um, other pe important people like Frederick Douglass, who is an abolitionist, who stated his opinion when the Dred v. Scott case, and their decision in that, and how he believed that all people have natural rights, natural law, and that that decision violated that, even based off the Declaration of Independence. So I went through a lot of primary and secondary sources to gain my research and develop this paper. So in my paper, I talk about three key events, one of which I already talked about, which was the 1790 Naturalization Act, which I open my paper with discussing. Then I go to the 14th Amendment of 1868, which granted birthright citizenship to all people born in the United States. And then I talk about the Dred Scott v. Sanford case in 1857, which I'll discuss more in detail what that case was. And then I talk about the Wong Kim Ark versus United States in 1898, which was another Supreme Court case. So all these key events played into the development of birthright citizenship and how we interpret it today and its evolution throughout the United States. So the Dred Scott decision of 1857, Dred Scott was born and enslaved in Missouri. His owner was an army surgeon who took him to live in Illinois and the Wisconsin Territory, both free under the Missouri Compromise, which states anything under Missouri is a slave state. And so Scott argued that because he had lived in free soil and his enslaver had died, that he was now technically free. So he sued Missouri in courts to claim his freedom, and eventually his case went to the Supreme Court. And in that Supreme Court decision, the court ruled 7-2 against Scott Chief Justice Roger B. Taney declared that African Americans, free or enslaved, were not citizens of the United States and could not sue in federal court. So the court also struck down the Missouri Compromise, saying Congress had no power to ban slavery in territories. So this case declared that African Americans, whether enslaved or free, could never be citizens of the United States. This ruling essentially denies birthright citizenship to an entire group of people based on race and the color of their skin. For a great period of time, they weren't allowed to be citizens of the United States. Then we have the Wong Kim Ark case, which Wong Kim Ark was born in San Francisco in 1873 to Chinese immigrant parents who were not U.S. citizens. And after a trip to China, he was denied re-entry to the United States under the Chinese Exclusion Act, which restricted Chinese immigration. He argued that because he was born in the United States, he was a citizen. And this again went to the Supreme Court because he was suing for his rights, and the court ruled 6-2 in favor of Wong Kim Ark. It held that the 14th Amendment Citizenship Clause applies to anyone born on United States soil, regardless of their parents' nationality. And so this impact on birthright citizenship, this case cemented the principle of just soil, citizenship by birthplace, affirmed that the 14th Amendment protects children of immigrants born in the United States, and still stands as a key precedent defending birthright citizenship today, especially in debates about children of undocumented immigrants. So this case had a positive outcome. It reaffirmed the 14th Amendment, even though there was a Chinese Exclusion Act, showing that yes, if you're born in the United States, you should be granted citizenship, no matter your parents' nationality or whatever that may be. You're born here and you should get those benefits. Now, today there's a lot of circulation around this topic on what birthright citizenship really means and how it should be interpreted and who qualifies for that citizenship. So, in this administration, we had Trump executive order on birthright citizenship, which executive order 14160 signed on January 20th, 2025. It basically was trying to redefine the 14th Amendment, especially the clause, the subject of jurisdiction thereof, which was trying to declare who fell under that subject of jurisdiction thereof, who qualifies and who doesn't. So, they're claiming that under that subject of jurisdiction thereof, the people who don't qualify for citizenship is children who are born in the US if their mom was undocumented on the US or on a temporary visa, or if the father was not a US citizen or a lawful permanent resident. So either of those cases, basically, if you're born in the United States, the parents were undocumented or on a temporary visa or whatever it may be, then you do not get that citizenship, regardless that you were born in the United States, which contradicts what the 14th Amendment says. So people are interpreting it. And as there has been constant debates. Many people, he's gone to the federal judges. They blocked this enforcement, saying it's a violation of the 14th Amendment. And the current status is the case appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court in May 2025. And this is going to be a reoccurring issue. So there'll definitely be more information. I had stopped my research on this about May, but there's definitely a lot more stuff that is going on. And this is going to be a topical issue for quite some time. So, conclusion. So, birthright citizenship has been shaped by landmark cases like Dred Scott and the Wong Kim Ark case and was solidified by the 14th Amendment. Today, it remains a cornerstone of American identity and equality, guaranteeing that anyone born on U.S. soil is a citizen. Contemporary debates, such as attempts to restrict citizenship through executive orders, show that this principle is still contested and essential. Understanding its history helps us see why birthright citizenship is not just a legal rule, but a vital part of the nation's commitment to inclusion and civil rights. I hope you find this interesting, and this research paper really helped me, and with the help of my mentor as well, understand the importance of birthright citizenship, how it evolved in the US, and that it wasn't just, oh, the 14th Amendment guaranteed it for everyone. There had been debates surrounding it, and who had fought for this citizenship? Who wanted it? I mean, there were people, activists, abolitionists, people of color, immigrants fighting for this citizenship since 1790 when they restricted to only white people to guarantee that all people who are born in US should receive the same benefits. So, I hope this was helpful and really interesting and you should read my research paper. Thank you.